Hey, I'm Gerald. This is Terry. This is Shane. We're three brothers together. Okay, we're going to start our wiring for this addition, and we've decided, because the main part of the house has no lights in the attic. Let me say to each of you, if your attic has no wiring for a light switch and an outlet, you need to add it, and this one does not, so we're going to add it. Now, we have bought little light receptacles for an incandescent bulb, and let me just get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. This is just made for a regular light bulb that you screw in, but it has this outlet on the side of it, ground with a ground on it, and real easy to wire up. There's not much to it. The directions are on each one of these, and this is the type box you need for that. This is the type you just nail onto the side of a rafter. It's got about a number 12 nail on it, and this fits right on it, and it gives you a bulb and a place to plug in when you get it wired up. So you can see how easy this is. Very simple, nothing complicated about it. We also need a place to turn them on, so we're going to use one of these light switch boxes, so you can turn your lights on in your attic and off. And it's very important that you have this. So what you need is this round box for your light, and you need wire staples. You can buy them at any hardware store. Just a little bitty fella right there that staples your wire up. You want to be neat and concise as you come. So as I come backwards, working back toward my opening, I'm going to go ahead and install these as I go, wire them up and install them. So the first thing we're going to do is locate where we want our switch and nail that on. And then we're going to proceed to go back through the attic access and nailing these on as we think they're appropriate. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, I've got my box. I'm going to nail to this ridge pole, or ridge beam, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to let this wire stick down here. I'm on about 8 inches, because I can tuck it back up in here. You need a utility knife. So I'm just going to put that right in the center, pull right down through my wire, because my ground is in the center. It won't hurt nothing by doing that. So I'm going to cut that back, cut it off. Okay, there's always a little paper shield in this wiring. So here's my hot wire, my neutral, and my ground. Now, I'm going to wire that up right now while I'm here, because I want to come back. I want to do this as I come in and out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Most of all these has got a little pull cord. I never use them. I usually just turn them on right here with this and leave them on and wire it directly to my switch. Now, I want to point this out. Right here on this fixture, we have a ground wire. It's always a screw for the ground wire. It's always green. And we have a brass, that's always your hot. And we have a chrome colored screw, that's always your neutral. So your hot is always black, your neutral is always white, and your ground will always just be a bare wire. Now, got a little gauge on this, and I want plenty, and I'm going to put that little gauge right there on that. Twist my pliers and pull it off. And I want about 3/4 to an inch of wire, because I want it to be easy. I don't want to complicate it, reinvent the wheel. Now, This little tool has little holes here. These little holes is made to stick that wire in and make your loop. So I'm gonna make my loops. Just like so. There's my loops to go around my screw. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do my ground all at the same time. One little job I'll have done. Now, I'll take my Phillips screwdriver, back my wires off, like so. I'm gonna hook up my hot wire. Now, as you do this, you can take these little fellas right here. It's got a little, you can see that the little end's got a little dog, what I call a dog nose on it. That's made to clamp that wire around the base of your screw, like so. Now, so I'll put on my neutral, which goes always on my chrome wire screw. I'm just going to squeeze it around there. I'm going to put on my ground. So now I've got them all on. I'm just going to snug those screws down, like so. You want a little slack up in your box because things wear out. And you want to be able to do this again. So you don't want it so the wire's so tucked in up here at your box that you can't not get it down to work on it later. So I'm just going to shimmy this wire back out of here. Bring that fixture right back up there where I want it. And I'm going to let that hang down about 5 inches roughly, just by line of sight. And I'm going to put me a wire staple right here. Goes right across your wire, like so. Now they normally recommend that you do this wire staple within 2 inches of your box. I'm about to come to the conclusion that I'm going to send brother back after a drill. Okay, we've retrieved us a gun, a screw gun. Lo and behold, for all practical purposes, stripped out. So, now what do you do? Well, in our case, we're going to get some 1-inch drywall screws and shoot up in that box. 1 inch. These little fellas are made out of very, very soft metal. And they're fine threaded. Remember, if you strip these little fellas out, you're done. Okay. Again, my little handy dandy jar, a little lid, and brother's brought me back about, looks like about 1.25 inches. But that's just right. So no complaints here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-shoot this up. Just like that. Run it up, back it off. That way it makes it easier for your screwdriver. Now, these fixtures are made with a slot. Okay. When you look at the bottom of it, you can see we have just a hole here, and it's a hole with a little slot off to the side. That means you can stick it over your screw and twist it just a little bit. This one right here, you just slide it on. Right? So, that's what we're going to do. And Okay, I'm going to twist it a little bit. And then you break one of them, which is what I have done. They used to make these things out of porcelain. They were excellent. Now it's all plastic. So let's just going to disassemble this whole thing here. Let you see how this is put together. Believe it or not, there's not much to the little fellas. It's just enough to cause you to lose your religion. And since I'm a very religious man, I don't want to lose my religion. So I've got to fix it. Porcelain, if you can find them, instead of plastic. But that was my mistake. I knew it was plastic when I started. I should have been much more careful, but I wasn't. So there you have it. You live and learn. And even after you've lived and learned, you sometimes forget. I was hoping I could come up here and put this video together without a hitch. Make myself look really efficient, you know. But sometimes efficient guys forget what they're doing. So I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to use my handy dandy screwdriver and do over it. That way you don't feel like such an idiot, you know, when you go do this yourself. So, well, I saw a guy that's been doing it for 35 years mess up. 35 years does not mean that you mistake proof. I just want you to know that, guys. It just means that in every good house, there's something to aggravate you. That's the reason you have plenty of slack in your wire. And I'm just stugging them up good and snug. Now that I have made enough mistakes for your watching and viewing enjoyment and pleasure, somewhere there's going to be someone that's going to say, I could have told you that. One of those cheap plastic fixtures is on. Okay, next we're going to just pull our wire back as far as we need to go. We want to be within about 12 foot of our opening, and then we're going to cut this wire. And I'll put on my next box accordingly. In other words, I'll show you what accordingly is. And we're going to come back and tuck it. Now, brother, if you want to give me a shot here. We have some collar joist. This is a collar joist that goes between rafters. We're going to pull the wire after we cut it the right length. I'm just going to pull it back, and I'm going to take it through this area right here to keep it from sagging down. I won't have to use nearly as many wire staples, and it'll be up out of the way where I want it anyway. So remember, plastic, cheap and affordable, but not very durable. Not when you have one of these and a heavy finger, right? Light finger, if you use this, and this is absolutely not going to say, I'm sorry. So, there you go, we trash it. Okay, we're going to move along. Okay, these little boxes, they have little tabs here for you to pull your wire through. I generally just bend those little tabs back till I've got lots of room there to get my wire through. And you want to do that before you nail your box up. So, just a little something that you might want to know. It's always important So, there you can see it. Got some wire. I'm gonna tuck it into my light box. Give myself an ample enough space. Coming back over to my switch box. I want one switch to turn on this light, and the other two back through the existing attic space. So I'm just gonna make me a little guesstimation here about where I want to cut it. Now, in my opinion, one wire staple and about 36 inches of span is plenty. So that's all I'm going to put. But we're not going to put the switch in right now because I've got to bring a hot wire up to the switch. These are just my two lights. Okay, believe it or not, we've wired up 3 lights. The only thing left remaining is to get us a hot wire pull to a switch, and we'll be able to put bulbs in and turn these things on. Okay, we're done till we get some power. Pretty good day. It's better than setting it on. If you enjoyed any of this, if you're learning anything, subscribe, like our channel.
Like.
That's right, like, and
Like.
share it with your friends. Share.
Share. All your friends.
Even on Facebook.
Yes. So that'll make us happy, and we can afford meal for cornbread and fire for our stove. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys.